Hi class, my name is Sarah Rivera and I will be presenting on the life of Merle Haggard. His early life, his parents came to California from Oklahoma during the Great Depression and they settled in Bakersfield, and Merle was born in Bakersfield on April 6, 1937, and he grew up in a boxcar that his father converted to a house. So here are some pictures from Merle's childhood. First you can see him with his older sister, and then you can see him when he was a teenager in front of the house. And the bottom right you can see the house now as it is in Bakersfield, which it's a museum and you can go visit. His father died of a brain hemorrhage when Merle was 9 years old, and his mother did her best to support the family by taking a job as a bookkeeper. When Merle turned 12, his older brother Lowell gave him a guitar, and Merle taught himself how to play guitar by listening to the records of Bob Wills, Lefty Frizzle, and Hank Williams. During his teenage years, as his mother was hardly around because of work, Merle became more and more rebellious. His mother sent him to a juvenile detention center for a weekend in the hopes his attitude would improve, but his attitude worsened, and Merle started committing thefts and writing bad checks. At age 14, Merle ran away from home with his friend Bob Teague and went to Texas. And Merle returned to Bakersfield later that same year and was arrested for robbery, but was later released after the police found the real offenders. Merle was later sent to the detention center again, but escaped and went to Modesto, California. And while there, he worked at odd jobs around Modesto. It was here that he had his debut performance at a bar named Fun Center with his friend Bob Teague. In 1952, after being released from prison, Merle and his friend Bob Teague went and saw Lefty Frizzle in concert. While backstage at the concert, Merle was singing and playing guitar to Frizzle's songs, and Lefty heard him and refused to perform unless Merle sang first. Merle decided to pursue a career in music after this incident. He started playing in nightclubs after working all day in the oil fields. By 1957, Merle was married but was plagued by financial issues. And because of this, he decided to rob a Bakersfield roadhouse, but was caught and sent to jail. And while in jail, after a failed escape attempt, he was transferred to San Quentin Prison in 1958. After the execution of one of his fellow inmates, Merle decided to turn his life around and earn his high school diploma, and also became a member of the prison's country music band. In 1960, he was released from San Quentin on parole, and in 1972, California Governor Ronald Reagan granted Merle a full pardon for his past crimes. In 1960, he began performing again and also started recording with Tally Records, and the Bakersfield sound started developing against the overproduced Nashville sound. And Merle's first record was Singing My Heart Out, which flopped at only 200 copies. In 1962, he asked permission from Win Stewart to record Sing a Sad Song, and the result was a hit in 1964. In 1965, he had his first top 10 record, and his career took off from there. Some of his number one hits include Mama Tried, The Legend of Bonnie and Clyde, Hungry Eyes, and Sing Me Back Home. His song, Okie from Muskogee, tells about a place where people are patriotic, they don't do drugs, and they don't rebel against authority. So here are a couple of sound bites from Merle Haggard, and the first one, if you click on, would be Mama Tried, and the second sound bite would be Okie from Muskogee. So Okie from Muskogee became an answer of patriotism of sorts, in response to the hippies who were protesting the Vietnam War. Merle Haggard said, "I wrote it when I recently got out of the joint. I knew what it was like to lose my freedom, and I was getting really mad at these protesters. They don't know anything more about the war in Vietnam than I did. I thought how my dad, who was from Oklahoma, would have felt. I felt I knew how those boys were fighting in Vietnam felt." "Okie from Muskogee, The Fight Inside of Me, and I Wonder If They Think of Me," which was Haggard's 1973 song about an American prisoner of war in Vietnam, were hailed as patriotic anthems and have been recognized as part of a recurring patriotic trend in American country music that also includes Charlie Daniels in America and Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. So during Merle's lifetime, he received numerous awards from the Academy of Country Music, the Country Music Association, and a few Grammys. He was inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1977, and the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1994, and the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame in 1997. Merle Haggard said he was driven by a desire to play guitar and have total knowledge of it. He is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records and many encyclopedias. He once said those books describe him as a country singer, balladeer, and composer of "Okie from Muskogee" and the poet of the common man. But Merle Haggard hoped this world would remember him as the greatest jazz guitar player in the world that loved to play country. And Merle Haggard passed away on April 6, 2016, at his home in Palo Cedro, California.